Go ahead and begin in a comfortable seated position somewhere on the ground. Close your eyes, put your hands on your knees, and take a few deep breaths in and out through your nose and out your mouth. If you have a dog that has joined you, go ahead and rub her belly. And if you haven't, close your eyes and just think about what intention you'd like to set for today. Mine is usually some variation of to be here and feel better, but you can do whatever you'd like with that. Hi, Hannibal. Go ahead and gently shove your dog out of the way if she happens to be in the way. Hello, thank you. And then go ahead and come into an all fours position here, getting ready for cat-cow. Hands are underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. On your next inhale, go ahead and arch your back, look up toward the ceiling as far as is comfortable. And exhale, curl your tailbone underneath you, chin to your chest, push into your hands. Inhale opens you up, and exhale, rounding forward. Again, inhaling up, and exhaling forward. Last time, breathing up, and exhale to round. Go ahead and come back to a flat back. You're going to take your right hand and open it up toward the ceiling. Then you're going to dive your hand down so that your hand, arm, shoulder, and head are all on the ground. Take a big breath in here and exhale. If you'd like a little more, you can wrap your left arm back behind you. If not, no worries. Go ahead and plant your hand, and your next inhale opens you back up to the ceiling. Go ahead and place your hand down on the ground. Inhale, left arm comes up. Exhale, dive it down. Pet your dog if she's there. And exhale. One more breath in. You can wrap that other hand back behind you if you'd like. On your next inhale, plant your hand, spin it back up, and bring it down. Next up, go ahead and bring that left hand back to the ceiling. And you're going to take your left hand to your left shoulder, square off your shoulders, drop down until your elbow touches the ground, and then sit your hips back, looking for a stretch in your lats along the side of your shoulder. On your next inhale, open up, spin open, come back to center, and other side. Open that right side up. Right hand to your right shoulder, square your shoulders, drop your elbows, set your hips back, find a stretch, and breathe. Inhale opens you up. You might notice that you have a little more room here. If so, take a second to appreciate it. And then come back to all fours. Just take a couple wiggles here. Then you're going to tuck your toes, press your heels down toward the ground, hips up into a downward dog. Go ahead and pedal out your feet. If you need to walk your feet a little closer, you can, or a little farther away. If you want to stay up on your toes, totally fine. Just see where you're at right now. Take a big breath in through your nose. And exhale, let it all go through your mouth. Next, come onto your toes if you aren't already. You're going to roll forward, bringing your shoulders over your hands. Pause here for a second and check in with your ribs here. If you're flared out like this or dropping down like this, go ahead and draw your ribs back in line. Try and press your hands into the ground, shoulders apart. And then coming on back to downward facing dog. Let's do that a couple more times. Again, come up onto your toes, roll it forward. Check in with your ribs here. If you're flaring out, if you're dropping down, bring them back. And hips go back. And last time, coming up onto your toes, roll it forward. Find that stacked alignment. And then go ahead and place your knees down on the ground. Set your hips back towards your feet. You can kick your feet wide if you'd like. Child's pose, fold it forward. Go ahead and stay in child's pose, but move your hands over to one side. Take a big breath in and a big breath out. And then come on back to center, sink in for a second here. And then come on over to the other side. Big breath in and big breath out. Go ahead and come back to center and back to all fours. And then you're going to go ahead and bring your foot, your left foot I should say, up by your left hand. Drop your hips forward. From here, just go ahead and sink back, extending your top leg or forward leg, and come back into that hip stretch. So we're just alternating here. Take your time. Make it a little bit bigger if you want that, or a little smaller if that's calling your name. You might try pushing your knee out to the side. Just see what there is to see. And then go ahead and come forward and take that knee back to all fours. Right foot comes up now, sink it forward to start. Maybe this is where you stay. I don't know. Put yourself somewhere and see how it feels. Setting your hips back when you're ready and forward. And then again, finding any wiggles here. You might notice feels different on this side. That's fine. Maybe pushing your knee out to the side, see what happens. And then we'll come forward. Knee comes back to all fours. Press into your hands, press into your toes, back into your downward dog. Go ahead and take a walk up to your feet, or your feet up to your hands, I should say. Roll it on up to stand. Float your hands up and overhead, grab your wrist, reach up toward the ceiling. And on your exhale, go ahead and dive it down. Stepping back into a plank for a second. Check in with your ribs here. Are you dropped? Are you pressing your ribs back behind you? If you are, try and bring them into alignment. And then down dog. Next, go ahead and pick up your right foot, bring it up toward your hands. Put your shin down on the ground, settle down here. If you do notice that this feels very tight, you can put a block underneath your hips or a pillow or something like that. If this feels pretty good, you can go ahead and settle here. If you want a little bit more stretch, you can bring your foot closer to 90 degrees. If you're happy where you're at or you want a little bit less, you can bring your foot closer to your pelvis. From here, go ahead and inhale up if you aren't already, and then fold it down over your front leg. If you have a dog for a pillow, you can play her like a tiny drum. If you don't, my condolences. All right, inhale reaches you back up. Plant your hands. If you don't want to step back into plank, just kind of make your way out of this however feels comfortable. Or you can plant your hands, plant your toes on your extended leg, step back to plank, and then come up to downward dog. Go ahead and pick that left foot up, bring it up toward your hands, shin comes down. Take a second to admire how stilly my dog looks, because this is pretty great. And go ahead and settle into your pigeon. Inhale, looking up. And exhale, folding down. Just taking some slow, deep breaths here. On your next inhale, go ahead and come back out of that. Plant your hands, plant the toes in your extended leg, stepping on back to a plank, or you can skip this entirely and just make your way back to something resembling a downward dog. Pedal your feet a few times, shake your head out. From here, go ahead and step your left foot up toward your left hand. If you'd like, you can set your back knee down. If you feel good, you can spin your left hand up toward the ceiling. Same thing, you can sink into your hips, move around a little bit here, or you can hold still, up to you. Find where you're at and make it yours. Go ahead and plant that left hand, step it on back. Right foot comes up. Take your time, even though I might be going a little fast. Spin that right hand up toward the ceiling. If you'd like to wiggle here, you may, or you can just stay here in a more still position, up to you. And then when you're ready, right hand comes down, stepping back to a plank, check in with your ribs, press your hips up, downward dog. Pedal your feet. And then bend your knees, set your knees down, set your hips back, child's pose. We'll take 3 deep breaths here. And when you're ready, go ahead and sit up. For this next one, we're going to do a mobility thing with your shoulders. And there's a couple different ways we can do this. Probably the easiest is going to be to just take a seat in a chair. But you can do this sitting cross-legged on the ground if that works for you too. It'll be a little easier to show if I'm in a chair though, so I'll just go ahead and demonstrate that here. Now we're going to do some shoulder boxes. What shoulder boxes are is think about your shoulders moving independently of your rib cage. I'm going to explain exactly what they are in a second, but I want you to think about your rib cage first. So positionally, your rib cage is not going to move. We can get very sectional with our rib cage sometimes when we're trying to make up for the fact that we don't have a lot of mobility at our shoulders. What we're trying to do here is increase the mobility of our shoulders. How we do that? We make sure our ribs don't move. If you do notice that you're just all fucking, oops, if you're all cattywampus, you can always sit against the back of a chair, against a wall, just so that you know where you are in space. You can also stand with a foam roller against the wall, just see what you need to do. First, we'll see how this goes though. So, step 1, think about stacking your ribs over your hips. So this is all just in a nice straight line. Then you're gonna extend your hands out in front of you. Put some tension in your arms here, like if somebody came down and pressed down on your arms, they wouldn't just flop, they would not be able to move. That's step 1. Now, think about this as where your hands are going, your shoulders are going to follow. First, you're going to push your hands forward. Then you're going to lift your shoulders up, then back, also drawing your hands back, then down, then forward. Again, thinking about this more at the shoulders actually, your hands are kind of whatever. Shoulders come up, shoulders come back, down, and forward, making a little box. I'll show you from this angle if this helps. Shoulders come forward, up, back, down, forward, up, back, down, forward. Last time, up, back, down, and forward. Good. Take some wiggles, come back to a position that makes sense to you. And now we're going to go the other way. Now, if that was hella confusing, welcome to the club. Be prepared to try this again. We will, but now we're going to go in the other direction. Hands extend. Set your shoulders down a little bit apart to start with. You're going to push your hands forward. Now down, back, up, forward. Down, back, up, forward. Shoulders down, shoulders back, shoulders up, forward. Down, back, up, forward. As you do this, take a look at me to see if my ribs are moving or if my back is staying really still. Last one, back, up, forward, and down. If that was confusing, welcome to shoulder boxes. You'll be okay. We'll try that again one more time. For now though, we're gonna go ahead and lay down on our backs on the ground. We're gonna do some pause glute bridges. Your hands can be wherever is comfortable. Your feet are gonna be kind of close to your butt. You're gonna start with just the littlest tuck of your tailbone underneath you. Start with a small brace of the core, press into your feet, hips come up, squeeze your butt at the top. You might need to do a little dancey dance with your feet so that you feel your glutes or the back of your hips the most. And then come on down. Again, little tuck, little press, squeeze for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and let it down. Again, tuck, lift, and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. Again, holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and last time, lift up and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lovely. Go ahead and come back up to seated. And we're going to do our shoulder boxes again. So we'll do both of those one more time. Go ahead and extend your hands out front. You can sit in a chair or on the ground. I don't care. If you feel very cramped down here, but you're trying to sit on the ground, sit on a block or a cushion or something so that you're elevated a little bit. Hands come out, push your hands forward, drop down, draw back, coming up, forward, down, back, up, forward, down, back, up, forward, down, back, up. Other way. Let's drop down, forward, up, back, down, forward, up, back. From the side for me, down, forward, up, back, down, forward, up, back. Last one, down, forward, up, and back. Good. Take some wiggles. Set yourself wherever you need to be. And then go ahead and roll it down to the ground. And let's get our last pause glute bridges done. You can put your hands wherever you like. I'll try and get mine out of the way so you can see what I'm doing. Hips are going to come up, and let's hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming on down. Back up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And down. Up again for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Down and back up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last time. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come on down. Close your eyes. Knock your knees from side to side. Coming on back to center. Extend your legs. Close your eyes. Take 3 deep breaths. Inhale in through your nose. And exhale completely. Again, inhale. And exhale. Last time in. And out. I hope you have a really good rest of your day, and I will talk to you soon.